This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
You know, for a lot of reasons, fall is my favorite time of the year. Football, cool fronts start blowing through after a long and hot summer, and my favorite reason is that the fish get more comfortable and bite better than they do maybe any other time of the year. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to your Southwest Outdoors Report for this week. And on this week's episode, we're going to share with you some of the factors, some of the reasons why the fish are more comfortable and will feed more and shallower than they do any other time of the year. And in the process, we'll be giving you some information that just may help you become more successful on your weekend fall fishing trip. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your very latest fishing and lake reports. Also this week, we'll be showing you one of the best little sleeper catfishing lakes in North Texas. And on Barry's Real Fishing, we stay with the catfish theme, telling you how to catch blue cats on a very unusual fishing lure. Later on the Big Catch of the Week, we show you a giant blue catfish caught in, again, a North Texas lake. So next up, we get the boat in the water and out on the fish, and while we're looking, you're going back to the FSN studios where Heather has your Chevy weekend planner.
A check at the Salinar tables indicates that the best daylight fishing times this weekend will be in the morning, starting at 10:25 on Saturday and 11:20 on Sunday. In the evenings, peak hours will be happening right around midnight. Look for the sun to rise at 7:37 a.m. and set at 6:45 p.m. Evenings will be well lit with a full moon taking place on Friday. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is conducting 2 Go Fish events this weekend to help families learn the basics of fishing. The fun starts on Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning at both Palmetto and Lake Corpus Christi State Parks. Have a great weekend, everybody. Now let's get back to Barry.
Thanks very much, Heather. We've made it out onto the lake, and let's start the day with a little trivia question. If I were to ask you, at what temperature are the game fish across our southwest region most comfortable, what would be your answer? Well, I'll tell you, for the most part, around 70 degrees is the optimum temperature where most of the game fish in our region are the most active and feed the most. I have my Lowrance HDS set up to read the surface temperature right here on the front screen, and you can see the water temperature at the surface is 72.6 degrees. We are within 2 degrees of the best temperature for fish around our region. Now that's in the middle part of the region. So depending on where you are, you could be either top or bottom of that temperature. But the main point here is that the fish are beginning to be very active. They move much shallower and they feed more actively and more often at these surface temperatures than at any other. So let's move around here a little bit, do a little fishing, and talk some more about how you can catch them this weekend.
This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
Here's one. Something, what is it? A little white bass. Oh man. Well, it's a fish anyway. Hey, welcome back everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report rolls on today, and let me tell you the biggest change that's happened not only to the surface temperature. You know, I showed you that 72-degree surface temperature a couple of minutes ago. What that has made the fish do is push all up into shallow water. All summer long, I've been fishing out in deep water, and the fish have been out. We've caught fish as deep as 95 feet of water this season, suspended out over 95 with largemouth and smallmouth bass. We've caught stripers out in 70 feet of water. We've caught white bass in 40 feet of water. All the fish have been out deep. But now the big change has happened in the fall. The fish are all making a big migration into shallower water. So now, over the next couple of months, you need to be keying on 6 to 12 feet of water, a lot shallower. There is a good reason for that, and we're going to tell you about that next. But right now, we're going to check in with our Texas Fishing Report, the freshwater report from Brian Hughes, called the Lone Star Lakes.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brass and Blades. Now this week we're going all across the great state from north, east, south, and west, so let's get started. In the north, Lake Texoma experienced a devastating shad kill. Now while it was completely natural, it's made fishing very, very tough on Texoma, and the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation has addressed this by stocking 39,000 adult spawning age threadfin shad. Now that's really going to help in the coming months on Texoma. In the east, Bob Sandlin bass fishermen get up in the creeks from the mouth to halfway back and fish moving baits. Your spots, your spinner baits, and even a Cinco or Yum Dinger type bait will catch bass on Bob Sandlin. Now to the south, Choke Canyon has a great topwater bite. Get out there with your Pop-Rs or Zero Spooks or even a buzzbait and work those topwater bass on Choke Canyon. And finally, in the west, OHIV and crappie. They're moving up towards the shallows. They're going to the north end up towards the river, and the best baits are going to be minnows on a crappie rig, or if you'd like, multiple crappie jigs set up on each side of your boat. You'll catch a group of crappie, stay with them. When that plays out, look around a little bit. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brass and Blades. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. With its Gulf beaches, great coastal fishing, Arnold Palmer Golf Course, fresh seafood, and nighttime hotspots, Port A is truly Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, the Texas coast has experienced a phenomenal stretch of great weather that has allowed for good catches both inshore as well as in the Gulf. Inshore, the fall patterns continue with bird activity dominating the action on the upper coast and Sabine and Galveston Bay complexes. On the middle coast, from Matagorda southward to the land cut, speckled trout are slicking around mid-bay reefs, with some fish starting to make a move toward more shallow waters. Redfish have been active in the back lakes, with oversized fish around the jetties all up and down the Texas coast. On the lower coast, light winds had hurt fishing. However, with the new approaching fronts, look for winds to disturb the surface, resulting in fish being less spooky. Also, the Brownsville Ship Channel is giving up a smorgasbord of fish, including speckled trout, redfish, snook, drum, sheepshead, and mangrove snapper. Offshore, the red snapper season continues to afford anglers a chance at some quality fish around rigs, rocks, and reefs. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
There's something. Let's see what this is. Way out there. Come up. Oh, good crappie. Good crappie. Oh yeah, all right. Well, I mentioned that all the game fish are moving up shallower. That includes white bass, stripers, largemouth bass, catfish, and crappie. That's a good solid one right there. And I will tell you that that crappie came out of a different type area, different water, different place than he was all summer long. And I'll tell you where he was and where you can catch some of them this coming weekend if you'll just stay with us. Right after the break, and Gary Dollahan is up next with the Sooner Beat.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by NITRO Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a NITRO. By Stren, the standard of dependability. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. And by MotorGuide, never stop.
There's one. Okay. Oh, big old crappie. Big old crappie. Look at here. Oh, yeah. Well, let's just pull him up like that. All right. Hey, there we go. There's a crappie up in fairly shallow water. Well, let's put him back. And I mentioned, welcome back everybody. This is your Southwest Outdoors Report. I mentioned to you that the fish have moved much shallower than they were in the summertime. Haven't talked about why. The reason is very simple. All the Game fish, crappie, largemouth bass, stripers, white bass, they all move up shallower. You can see I'm fishing in here a lot closer to the shoreline than I have been for most of the summer. All the bait fish are very sensitive to the hot surface temperatures like we had all summer long, up in the mid-90s across most of our region. When that happens, the bait fish go deep and the game fish follow. Well, the reverse is happening right now. They're all migrating up shallower. That crappie was in 8 to 10 feet of water. All summer long, I've been catching crappie 20 to 25 feet deep. The bait fish have moved shallow, the game fish follow, and that's the reason that we can catch fish up this shallow now right through the rest of the fall months. Let's go to Oklahoma right now and check in with Gary Dallahan.
What a great time of year it is. The leaves are starting to change and our water temperatures are starting to cool down now. We have lakes that are in the mid to upper 60-degree mark, and they're going to continue to cool obviously as our nights get a little bit chillier. We are getting some good reports across the state right now. Hefner has some really good fishing going on there. Largemouth and smallmouth bass are good. The striped bass hybrids is excellent. The crappie fishing is really good. The white bass fishing is good. For the largemouth and the hybrids, throw those lipless crankbaits. You might catch some fish on topwater early and late. Guys at Hefner are also reporting some walleye coming in. Arcadia Lake continues to be good for bass and for crappie right now. And the Grand River System lakes, the main lakes there, Grand Lake, Hudson Lake, Fort Gibson, all reporting good bass fishing. Excellent white bass fishing. For the white bass, use your rooster tail and small spinners, staying close to the surface in those lakes even if you're trolling.
Let's talk a little catfishing on this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. In the fall time, catfishing is fantastic around our region, and there's a little sleeper lake just outside the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in North Texas that's dynamite for catfishing, especially the last couple of weeks. It's Eagle Mountain Lake between Saginaw and Azle, Texas. And let's show it to you now on the Lowrance HDS-10 with the Insight Shaded Relief Mapping. Eagle Mountain Lake is on the Trinity River system near the town of Azle, Texas, just east of Highway 199. Let's switch over now to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum software, the card that you insert into the card reader in your HDS system for all the detail and the contour lines. The features of Eagle Mountain include lots of riprap and rocky shoreline all along the south end of the lake here in the red. All that rock falls off into deep water 30 to 40 feet deep. There are lots of good deep water boat docks and boat houses in this area outlined in blue, and there are tons of shallow reeds and cattails along the mid-lake area here in the green. And finally, there are some good deep water humps and underwater islands here in the middle of the lake we've circled in black. Now, while the lake does have some good blue cats in it, it's best known for its quality channel catfishing that catch them regularly there up to 8 to 10 pounds. One note on Eagle Mountain, boat access via boat ramps and launch points are very limited, and they're all on a fee basis, so be prepared for that when you go. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. Coming up next, Cajun Phil and Kevin are in Louisiana.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by quality award-winning Tracker boats. Fish the finest. By Lowrance, makers of the HDS, high-definition system. And by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride.